All right, guys, we are live on the Independent Investor Channel live stream. We conduct this live stream every Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. For you guys that are new to the message, I'd like to welcome you for the first time. For the returning visitors and subscribers to the Independent Investor Channel, I'm humbled to have you back. Honestly, I couldn't do this without you guys. You are all part of the engine that's firing away toward financial security. And I know the investing community is very, very vast across social media. I'm not one of those folks that approach wealth building in a typical fashion. I really want to earmark those opportunities for people where they don't think that there is opportunity. Super, super important. We did make the $500,000 threshold, and I think you guys are going to find it somewhat refreshing to get my perspective on this. Did I go out in the field and start a fire and dance around it like a naked crazy man? No, I didn't. I actually felt a lot more relieved. And if I can impart to you within the first couple minutes or so of the live stream, it was refreshing. Absolutely. When I or anyone in the community reach a financial threshold, whether it be $1,000 invested, 5,000, 10,000, 25, 50, and there's a psychological reason why I do that. Identify those barriers of thresholds, goals, right? And for a lot of people, they are barriers. But I tell you what, guys, man, nothing holds a candle to how I felt when I made that first $10,000. And that still is the most monumental milestone that I've ever met in my financial career, in the evolution as an investor. And the sheer reason, and I've said this before, and I hope that there's investors out there who really, really hear me, because they're like, God dang, man, this guy just passed over $500,000. He should be dancing up and down. That's not my honest reaction. The reason why the 10,000 threshold was so incredible is because I knew in my mind that I could never get there. So when I did, it was that impactful, and it was refreshing. Yes, it was rewarding. It was proof of concept. It was everything that you would expect when you have yourself mentally conditioned that you can never get to that first $10,000 of capital put away. And I think that applies to the masses. All right. Did I get to a $500,000 by being the sharpest tool in the shed? No. Did I get there by becoming lucky? No. No. Did I get there by knowing more than the next person? No. Nope, I didn't. I'm going to identify some keys to your success, because for me, I keep this stuff in relative perspective when I talk about the wealth building initiative and where my focus and where my priorities lie. Happy Memorial Day weekend, all the vets out there and first responders, absolutely 100%. Happy birthday to my brother, who is also a veteran. So you get a double whammy shout out from I too. I just so happen to be your older brother, but this is a family affair here, guys, right? It's an absolutely beautiful thing, but if you are a vet, throw it in, VET. I don't care if you're a first responder. I don't care if you're a police officer, firefighter. I don't care if you are a healthcare professional. If you are on the front lines doing good service, you are indeed the heroes of this country specifically, and also around the world. Okay, absolutely. But to digress and get back to the financial topic, a lot of the reason why I do what I do is because over the last 5 years of rolling out social media content, we have fine-tuned quite a few products on the i2, and the live stream has become my absolute favorite thing to do. It is a mainstay on the channel. So if you are tuning into me and you have been with me a while, please understand that the live stream will be with the channel for a long, long time. This would be something that I would do if I didn't have any visitors. I really enjoy personal finance, but what I love even more is the challenge to break down personal barriers for people, where I see that money can be somewhat consuming for people, right? It can be one of those things to where it can be stressful. It can be something that it is not intended to be. All right. Shout out to Troy. Fantastic. Thanks for joining. Nice thumbnail, by the way. It's awesome, man. Thanks for your service. But you guys really got to understand, why I do this project. It is aimed to alleviate some of those barriers. And I told one of my favorite people who's been with the channel since the inception of the channel, was brought to me by no other circumstance that wouldn't have been possible without I2. And she reached out to me and said, Ryan, I need help. Help me. You're the one guy that can help. And I was like, absolutely, no problem. And if we can help in those situations, I would contend that 1,000-fold there's people out there who need to understand that being in command of your money is so much more fulfilling in this life than having your money control you. And I think in multiple capacities, even people with money, they look at it as if it's some sort of an excuse for people to render respect. I don't look at it that way. I don't. I just think your financial number is probably indicative of the program that you've put in place and the discipline that you're willing to deploy. That's all it is. It doesn't make me a better father. It doesn't make me a better husband, right? It doesn't make me a better appreciator of money. I'll tell you that the key to my appreciation for money is the fact that I come from a loving household, right? A family that didn't have a whole lot of money growing up, and it didn't matter, and it doesn't matter to this day. But the sheer appreciation that I do have for how hard it is to work for money and earn it is somewhat where the satisfaction comes from meeting a financial threshold, like the $500,000 mark for me. I'll identify in the goals tonight where we go from here. And I think you guys will find that refreshing to understand that, it is an incredible milestone. I'm very humbled, but there's a lot that Dave Ramsey talks about in his delivery that I do agree with. And he speaks along the lines of, it's no surprise, right? If you truly want this for yourself and your family, maybe to leave a legacy, maybe to provide some financial security, it's there for the taking. Take it. Stop making excuses and go after it. I'm not going to promise you riches into your future, but what I can promise you is that you'll probably end up in a place that is better served for your financial future into your future than you would be having it had not been for the investing opportunity, guys. So I want to welcome everybody. Leave the vet in the comments section. I'm going to be giving shout outs all night tonight. We got a jam-packed show for you guys. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Let's get into it and rock it out for the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. Great to see everybody. And 5 years ago, I really didn't have the compliment to the YouTube channel, Independent Investor Channel. This has been a real blessing for me. I feel like I'm doing what I was put here on earth to do. But 5 years ago, he had an account balance of on January 1 of 2015. I want to take you guys back for a second and share with you guys the total aggregate amount 5 years ago across 3 accounts came in at $86,425. All right. So for a lot of you guys, I know there's some 7-figure portfolios that are represented in the group, and I'm quite certain there's probably some 8-figure portfolios, maybe even grander than that. Again, it's relative when we're talking about money, but 86,425 just 5 short years ago is kind of what we were working with on an aggregate. Okay. Those are the 3 accounts, 2 Roth IRA accounts, self-directed nature, because I was self-directed at that time, as well as my TSP. which was about halfway in its inception since 2011. Okay. Since that time, total flow of contributions into the account, just over 200,377. That's an aggregate of starting the brokerage account that I chronicle on the channel all the time. That is an aggregate of max funding Roth IRA contributions that I'm about 99% sure I've done to the maximum capacity times 2 over the last 5 years. These are all nuggets that you can kind of take, not to say that you have to max fund a Roth, but to kind of understand and really kind of resonate with the roadmap that I've walked to get where I am right now. Okay. I got a shout out to Bob. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. God, look at all these vets. I got Chase in the house. That's fantastic, man. Super cool. Thanks for your guys' service. But the capital gains, 122,595, right? So 6-figure capital gains over the last 5 years. When the title of this video is The Power of Stock Market Investing. Okay. And I find it interesting how I'm able to digress and say that my most impactful moment was meeting that 10,000. In other words, the $500,000 mark really just didn't come as such a big surprise. I expected to be here, right? In here and with my physical application. But I got to tell you, a lot of what I do is right here. I know I'll get there, and I'll touch on when I think we'll probably get to the $1 million mark. It's taken me a lifetime to get this far, making all kinds of different, missteps and pitfalls and poor investing decisions, but we'll get there. Over the last 5 years, we've been able to render a total across those 3 accounts. Now it's gone sizably up here in the last 2-3 years for the dividend renderings. But total, I did an aggregate back 5 years just to give you an idea of the power of investing. 29,000 rendered dividends over the last 5 years. So I thought that was a little shy, but that's where the numbers kind of shook out. I want to share with you guys 3 milestones along the way that were really impactful to me, because I look back over the history. I've been with mutual funds. I've been with multiple financial planners, 4 specifically. Thrivent Financial, AAL, Citigroup with Smith Barney at the time, Edward Jones times 2, and now Merrill Edge. So you count them up. But it was the very broker scrutiny that I started to put on that really made a huge liberating difference for me when I really started to question the behind the scenes, like what's going on. And I'm not meaning to impugn the good work of our financial planning institutions. However, I think people would be a lot more educated in their decision making if they understood really the totality of the game. I mean, is it really too much to ask to maybe even do an amortized schedule to show actually the implication of even as low as a 1% management fee per year? I roll those products out to explain what I mean over the channel, but when I really started to scrutinize and ask, is this the best way for me? I wanted to have more ownership over my program, and it seemed like I was always relinquishing some of that control to the financial planning institutions, right? And it wasn't until I started to really scrutinize and look at this individual as just an individual, yes, a very well-dressed individual, but really scrutinizing the bottom line. What does this mean for me? Is the juice worth the squeeze, right? In other words, is the payment being rendered worth the return on my investment to put my stock with the financial planners, okay? The next was to fine tune my focus on the fee reduction piece and the tax protection piece. Okay. Something that has really stood the test of time for me is the importance of acknowledging the Roth IRA. Okay. Now, for a lot of folks, they should be able to really take a lot of the capability with the Roth, whether it be 6,000 or 12 times 2, right, and fill up their investing surplus capital to flow into those retirement accounts and put that money away and allow it to grow tax protected over time until you're 59. Look, I'm going to be 59 at some point. It's the time that you spend from 59 backtracking to when you started the Roth. And I started mine sometime just right before I got into service life. Okay. It was one of the best decisions I've made. And it's one of those mainstays that have been with me and my spouse throughout the time that I've been associated with my profession, as well as my married life, right? So it's always been a times two contribution type of exercise. Okay. The third milestone I want to impart to you guys, and this is key for anybody who's tuning into this, and I never know who's going to watch, but if there's a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old that has just fumbled into the Independent Investor channel, first of all, congratulations, because this information is life-changing, okay? I would love to see other people talking like me, given the goods, because this is the goods. This is the in-the-trenches stuff that you really need to know. It wasn't until I had what I consider to be the great break. The great break was when I moved away from a managed situation and went self-directed. Okay. The whole niche of the Independent Investor channel, please understand, is about taking control of your own financial future. Okay. By taking control of your own money and your own portfolio and your own decision making capability speaks volumes when you look at how much you could potentially earn into the future by putting liberated dollars to work within that tax protected account. Okay. So those are really the three milestones that I earmarked for you guys along this long and winding road. Could I earmark one specific event? Hell no. That's not investing in my mind. It's really not. And for anybody to come on and declare a number, whatever it is, 250, 500, 750, a million, I want to really understand how that's going to impact me, you being the viewer of said content, right? Other words, it becomes somewhat braggadocious to come on and say, I have this. Yeah, well, so what, Ryan? Tell me how you got there. Tell me some of the pitfalls and perils that you had to go through along the way. Could you have streamlined it? Now, those are the deeper questions that you really need to be asking. And if you're serious about wealth building, then you'll ask and seek out those answers to those questions on your own. You absolutely will. Otherwise, you need to question whether or not you really want this gig, because I know there's a lot of people out there that invest and they do lose sleep. They do stress out about it. Their money does own them. And you want to know something? I tip my hat to those folks for fighting the battle, even though it's probably somewhat counterproductive in their health. They need to get a handle on it, as opposed to those people who are dismissive on the investing opportunity altogether, right? So, with that, guys, I'm going to shelf the keys to success. We'll get to that after the portfolio reviews, but I do want to jump in and see how the progress of the portfolio has done over the last week. Obviously, it was a quadrifecta. I don't know if that's a word or not, but it was absolutely fabulous. I'll go through this quick and just declare the numbers to you guys, because there was a lot of changing in the portfolio, a lot of add-ons in the portfolio. We'll start with the brokerage account. This is one of the accounts that, when I mentioned from 5 years ago, the balance and how we've got to this point over time, we now are working with 6 accounts total. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you need to start 6 accounts, but as you'll understand, my philosophy has a lot of different strategies built into the portfolio. In other words, $100,000, $500,000 of my money is not just tied up in the S&P 500, and I wipe my hands and I call it a day. I do dividend, passive stock investing with dividend growth. I do passive ETFs. I do all kinds of different strategies to grab myself some diversified global exposure. I do some speculation in the portfolio. I do have some alt investments as well that I won't talk about on the channel. But we will be rolling out our newest affiliate through the Independent Investor channel, and that will be with iTrust Capital. Very exciting. Had my meeting with them this week. They're excited to partner with me. That's fantastic. It works on the channel. It's really good. And I'll be starting an account with them and chronicling the exposure to some cryptocurrency, probably on a 1 or 2% clip, I think. But it'll be fun to branch out and expose a little bit to that element. I'm the most excited about Ethereum, actually, to be honest with you guys. But I will dabble and put a touch in Bitcoin, but it will all be within the tax protection of a Roth IRA. It will not be with Coinbase. So pretty exciting stuff anyway. But here's how we shook out. I pushed 3M back out to the outside in the brokerage. Amazon is still kind of fluctuating here. Boeing is a new addition here. Wish is a new addition this week. These are all things that I declare up to speed. I can't sell you my instinct, unfortunately, but I do offer the private group through independentinvestorgroup.com. Right now, we're half price. That's all I'll say about it. If you want to click over there and join in on that deal, that's where I declare my real stock moves, and these are indeed real. Facebook, I moved to the outside brokerage account, rendered a fat ass profit within the Roth, rolled to 10 shares. So about 2/3 of the position rolled out to the brokerage account on Facebook. And I was okay to do that, rendered the profit tax protected within the Roth on that one. Lind is the big position here to chew up some materials exposure. That's a relatively large position, bought in 2 blocks, a 10-share block and a 5-share block, 15 total on Lind. So very excited about that. And then VTI, the VTI position, very, very important in here. And then I always declare to you guys the cash and equity relationship here. So that's that. The first Roth here is doing well. Some positions to note here as I'm scanning through. Lockheed Martin added back in. Very excited to get IPOE changed over here. I assume that the merger vote went through. I didn't even track it, guys. Hell, I was too busy, but I assume that vote went through. So it'll be nice to see that ticker change and see what they do with the warrants. I'll get those redeemed over, and we'll have some really nice speculative positions in SoFi going forward. But this portfolio is chugging right along, doing really well. You'll notice some familiar names in here. The small cap growth complements the S&P 500 VOO very nicely. And then we'll jump into Roth number 2. This is my account, a little bit more speculative in nature. This is passive, ETF free. This is strictly a stock account now. I justify that because I do have exposure through the thrift savings plan. So it really does justify taking this AbbVie. We took into a swing. We entered back into it today. That was a win. I was able to grab a point in 2 days of alpha. That stuff adds up over the years. It really does. If you guys want to know just a secret to my success, I don't mind selling stock multiple times over for a few dollars profit. CRM Salesforce was the real winner today. Absolutely. And I don't think there was a whole lot of addition to this portfolio here. But 120, and then the Spark line. Every account was up week over week. So can't complain. Johnson & Johnson's just been on fire as well. And then the M1 that I chronicle all the time. This, if anything, if I don't want the audience to misconstrue, because I want you to be crystal clear that this $500,000 was made through investing. Okay. This was made through mistakes. This was made through trial and error. This was made through all of the things legitimate. This represents an element of the YouTube success. Okay. And I'm also not going to sit here and tell you that the YouTube opportunity, it hasn't helped. It really hasn't. I love doing this. I really do. I have a passion for this project. I really do. I expect that people, when they tune into the live stream, they feel that, and they feel impassioned to be part of the message, right? In my very measure of success on the channel is with your success specifically. I know where I'm going. I don't need you to try to come and replicate what it is that I do, nor do I feel like that's the road to success. You want to know what the road to success is for yourself? Start to break yourself down and identify your own personal investing profile and align a strategy with that. I'll talk about that for keys to success. But 16,485, if you really want to hold a grudge, you can take this off of the 500,000, and that'll make you feel better. But this goes into the total amount here. For those that don't know, this was started a couple years back to show people that I could blow down the $10,000 barrier, and I did it in about 15 months. Okay, so the whole takeaway there is new people come to the investing opportunity and they think like I did. I'll never get to that $10,000 mark. And I did this to provide that kind of incentive to say, look, man, here's how I did it. There's infinite number of ways that you could do it, but here's how I did it. And I think that really helps. I really think that helps understand the roadmap that I've provided here in one capacity to do it. Here's another capacity here. This is approaching 20,000. Just absolutely every day that goes by, I become more of an advocate and a proponent and enjoy investing through M1 Finance. Now, is the lion's share of my wealth with M1? No, that's not how I use M1. I think you can appreciate that the way I use M1 is strategically. I enjoy it. These abilities to take these 71 holdings and just dollar cost average them over the course of every 2-week sessions. So I'm DCAing this account up while it's churning and pushing out some dividend income, as well as grabbing some capital appreciation. So, Baxter, Eli Lilly, Thermo Fisher Scientific, TJ Maxx, Nike, some companies that I don't own in the bigger accounts are captured in here. Goldman Sachs, some Canadian banks, Bank of Nova Scotia, TD Wright. I do a full breakdown of this on my portfolio reviews, but what you guys are going to understand is that if you're somebody out there who doesn't understand investing, these are some of the things that you need to understand. At some point, you need to understand the account that you start, and that said account needs to be filled with some level of product. Okay. And it's that product piece that everybody wants to jump to all the time. I have new investors that come up to me and they're like, what do you think of Plantier or Planeteer or Spice, or, what do you think about this stock? And it's like, have you ever invested before? Well, no, Ryan. Well, maybe you should do a little bit of research on read up on investing. That might help you a little bit. So everybody wants to start with that product and jump to that end. And I think that's putting the horse before the carriage in a lot of cases. All right. And the thrift is healthy above 50. So that's good. This has been bumped up to 20% a month. So I'm happy to do that. Very, very cool. Do have some pretty nice options written now, mostly surrounding Hyliion, mostly on the put side. I believe my calls rolled off and expired worthless. I'm on quite a winning streak with Hyliion options now. It's just fantastic to really be that bullish on a company and having the stock kind of basing and performing in a manner that I can just really be aggressive with my cash secured put strikes and write them. I think I've got them right now written at 9. I wrote them when they were at 965, and it's above 10 now. Whether or not it hits, I don't know. Doesn't matter. And I do have leaps on Hyliion as well as some long covered calls on Cisco and ExxonMobil, which I don't think I'll do that again if I'm going to impart to you. I don't really like having that overhang for such a long time. You write that contract and lo and behold, the stocks take off. Cisco's already above my strike and I'm having to backfill because I really didn't want to part with the position. If I part with the position, I make money. I'm talking Cisco right now, but I didn't really want to part with ExxonMobil either. So both of those, ExxonMobil is approaching in the high 60s, I think mid 60s. My strike is at 75.80. I run the risk of having that called away, and I don't think I'll do that again. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know, but good on me for giving it a good fighter's try. But we won't do that again. And there's the number for sure, 502. We gave, I don't know, a $4,000 bill back to the stock market gods today that he chewed it up. Yeah, but so we settled out at 502,373. So awesome. I really appreciate that. Thanks for allowing me to do the review, guys. I'll jump in here. I want to see if I can't highlight some vets here in the group. I want to make sure I get to everybody. I saw Rebecca in here, and I know she's one of those folks, one of those healthcare workers that are just killing it on the front line, man. There she is. She might not have got the vet instructions, but she is absolutely a hero. There she is. She says hi to everybody. So fantastic. Mr. Weber, who's also a vet, man, thank you for your service on behalf of the channel and behalf of me, man. Great friend of the channel. I feel the same way about all you guys. I wish I could know you better. It's awesome sometimes when I get called upon to do a Zoom meeting, because it's like, whoa, man. Then I got to put a face with the name, and it's one of those kind of underlying payments for me on the channel to put a face with the name of Blue Collar Bill. Fantastic, man. Thank you for your service. It's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. What's good, Ryan and everybody? Everything's good, and the portfolio is dialed in. I'm probably gearing up for an eventual correction if it happens, and getting my mind wrapped around that end if it does end up happening. We'll see. We'll see. You never know where the market's going. I don't talk along those lines. Love live streams, talking straight every week. It's easy for me. And it's amazing. The meeting I was on, the lady, my heart went out to this individual. I don't want to disclose too much, but it's easy for me. I'm glad to help. It's not a problem. If I thought I could say that perfect thing to get through to people, it's just kind of funny too. The project has evolved in such a way that even me being at the helm couldn't have saw. But these live streams are where the goods are. Okay. They really are. And I know I've got multiple projects out there. I do collect some income for the affiliate. And, after 5 years, to get a little pay dirt back by throwing down on a very, very solid opportunity that I have to provide awareness pieces on promotional content, that's another one of the most enjoyable things on the channel. And it's the one that I think is the least appreciated on the channel. That will continue. This is going to run my way. And if you don't like my way, I fare thee well. It's no problem. There's no love lost if you wanted to exit the channel because you think somehow I'm selling out by doing promo content or whatever. That's just the way it's going to be. Why? Because I come on and I do this. I take away time from my Friday every Friday, and I'm devoting doing that for those people out there that need to hear this stuff. They need to understand what the opportunity calls for. Make an educated decision for themselves, man. Absolutely. Very cool stuff. All right. Go over the keys to success right now for those new investors that I do talk about, man. The first thing that's super important to understand in this evolution of an investor, and this has happened relatively quick. I just went back 5 years and showed you, the accounts have doubled and the accounts values have 5x'd, right? So it happens very, very quickly. That's the power of stock market investing. But I've identified 6 things that I want to talk about. The first thing you've got to do is start. Okay. You cannot render results that I've just declared to you if you don't justify how to start, where to start. You got to start. You got to get off the sideline. If you think you're going to save your way to riches, I just told you in 5 years there was 122,000 of capital appreciated dollars that were rendered in the account, plus an additional 30. You ain't saving your way to those types of riches in a savings account, and you sure as hell ain't doing it with grandma's piggy bank. It ain't happening. All right. You gotta address and identify with the power of the stock market, that of which I'm sharing with you openly. All right. Number 2, you need to define your investing profile. And a lot of people will be like, I don't know what the hell you are talking about, Ryan. Ask yourself, what do you want out of investing? A lot of people, I'll ask them that question. They'll be like, well, I don't want to touch single stock. Well, okay. Now you're starting to kind of identify to say, I don't know who I am as an investor. Is there a product that I can maybe identify with that's aligned with my hesitation? Yeah, there absolutely is. And asking those rhetorical questions of yourself will help you start to identify and ask the question, what type of investor do I want to be? That's your investor profile. Okay. Number 3, you want to align said profile with a strategy. Okay. Strategies, not rocket science. Passive investing, easy as pie. Anybody can buy the S&P 500. Anybody can start an account. and anybody can buy the S&P 500. Anybody. Okay. How much should I do? I don't know. Make it up, guys. Come on, use your imagination. You want to invest or not invest? Do you have $500 to invest? Do you have $100? Maybe you have 10,000. I don't know. Answer that question for yourself, okay? I'm really trying to break this down for you. Align your profile with your investor strategy. If you wanted to take it to the next level, and I have this all the time, people come to me and they're like, I'm a kick-ass investor. Have you ever invested before? No. What's your risk tolerance on a scale of 0 to 10? I'm a 10, Ryan. Really? You want to put all your money into Bitcoin? I don't know. I pose it out there to say, look, if you lost all of your initial investment next week, how would you feel about it? Well, that would suck. I'm not getting involved with investing to lose money. Okay, now we need to digress, and we probably need to assign a good risk tolerance to this profile. And that's where a lot of people are really off base and in a genuine way when they start investing. Right. And it's okay. Okay. Don't go into things with the expectation of perfection. It doesn't exist. Okay. Allow yourself to be a freaking human being. All right. It's okay. You'll continually evolve over time anyway, which is one of those keys to success. Then when you get the profile and the strategy aligned, then you can talk product. Okay. There's only so many products out there. There's 500 stocks in the S&P 500, right? Not there's an infinite number of investments out there. And I'm so confused, Ryan. I have no idea where to start. Help me. The VOO is one product that can capture 500 stocks. How much easier can I put it to you? And that really where the masses should be looking to put some capital to risk. You'll earn a touch of a dividend, 171, and you'll enjoy being a stock market investing. Hell, you could have just tripped and fell into the S&P over the last 11 years and you'd be kicking some ass right now, right? So very, very powerful. All right. If you have alternative ideas, I'd love to hear them, but I have yet to identify a wealth building machine as good as a disciplined, passive, diversified program that pays you a little dividend. Now, if you heard what I said at the top of the live stream, if you can couple that product with the account that renders tax protection and wealth preservation, in other words, you invest in VOO for 0.03 of an expense, you just heard everything you needed to see. All right. And then you're like, dang, Ryan is pretty cool, man. I don't mind so much that he does the freaking promo videos. I'm not going to watch that crap, but I don't mind so much because he comes on and he sells out every Friday. All right. That's what I expect. Control what you can and trust the rest. Okay. There is going to be some element of letting go. We as human beings, we always want to just tinker. If something's broken, we gotta get in there and we gotta jar it around and we gotta fix it. We gotta make it right. Something's not right and we gotta do something to make it right. We gotta fix it. Heffy, give me a tool. I gotta fix it. Investing's not like that. Okay, it's the only thing in this life. You can make something up to your wife. You can make something up to your kids, right? You can fix stuff. You can fix the car. Investing, when things are going bad, you don't need to jump in and fix it. There's things you can do to help buffer the situation. But if you took an egg and you threw it as hard as you could up into the air, when stock is going down, it's like catching that egg as softly as you possibly can. It's not touching it, right? You got to just calm down. Okay. So build a solid plan with everything that I just talked about: tax protection, wealth preservation, good products, VOO, blah, 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 blah. We fire away at products for you guys. All right. But eventually you're going to have to look at your program and you're going to have to trust, become an investor. It's okay. Let it go. Focus on other stuff, please. Okay. You'll be so much better that you did. Because if you've done all the deliberation I talked about on the keys to success, you'll be fine. Okay. Trust that money will grow. Trust that S&P product that I streamlined for you. I want to invest in IVV. Fine. Go invest in IVV. I want to invest in SPY. It's so much better than VOO. Fantastic. Now you're getting the point. Knock your socks off with SPY. It's the same freaking product. Okay. However, understanding the deeper meaning of the power of diversification across the entire market and understanding, I heard a statistic that in 2000, the companies that exist now in the broader S&P 500, half of them don't exist anymore. I was like, damn. So we have to anticipate that into the future, the market is going to look that vastly different, drastically different than it is now, right? So the idea behind investing in the S&P 500 isn't that it's going to make you rich overnight, okay, or make you rich next week, or by God, Ryan, I've been investing in this for 4 months and it hasn't moved. You asshole, right? You did this to me. You're missing the point. Digress. Go back through the steps that I've just outlined for you. Those are the keys to success. The last one is to evolve in your program. If in the onset you misalign your risk tolerance a little bit or your investing profile, no problem. Okay. Always keep your mind open to evolving. Remember how I said over the last 5, I've doubled up the accounts from 3 to 6. I don't know. You don't have to go out and start 6 accounts. That's not the point of that. It's just that I looked at M1 Finance. I shit canned it the first time I used it, and I took a second look-see because I thought, you know what? I'm having a lot of people come back to me and say, Ryan, you're wrong. And I was. I was wrong. And when in the investing community do we ever admit that we're wrong? Never. A lot of people suffer from that disease. All right. Get over it. You're going to be wrong a lot of the time. Okay. Evolve and look to deploy multiple strategies. Okay. Multiple strategies. All right. I'm going to quickly go over my goals for the channel. Acquire property. That's going to be big for me over the coming years. Long-term goals. That's going to be big for me. I would share in those goals with you guys. If you own property right now, real estate is just absolutely en fuego. So congratulations on that. I want to expand my reach on the channel. The podcast is, some of the projects that I have. The live stream is the mainstay. The podcast, Shopify, I'd like to expand. Promotional content, I've already pissed off a bunch of people telling them that's not going away, as well as affiliate marketing, and then advance in my career. Those are kind of my personal goals. And then also along with that is to acquire some property, reach $1 million within 5 years. Is that possible? Okay, so with the rule of 72, I should be on a doubling cycle every 7 or so years. My doubling frequency is much more advanced than that, much more accelerated. And for you guys, it should be validation. Absolutely. But I don't think it's too far-fetched. We'll see. It's a goal of mine. If we make it, we make it. If we don't, okay, it's just a number, but I shoot that out there to say, man, in 5 years before I'm 50, that would be awesome. I don't come from money. Okay. This has all been generated from scratch and by doing a lot of churn, and a chugga. Doot, doot, doot. I'm going to expand the channel as quickly as we can. It's nice to see that I have 83 people in the live stream. I just did most of the stream with about 50 people. I would do this live stream with 10 people. I have no problem with that. I know I deliver a product that's conducive to thousands of viewers. So it's their problem, not mine. What can I say? They're missing out. Y'all are the lucky patrons. I do want to advance at work, and then I do want to contribute more, which that goal right there, I can actually scratch off the list because I've upped it to 20%. All right. So contribute more. It's part of that evolve piece. So each and every one of you guys in your households can kind of look at the inflow and say, man, I don't know. I thought I was doing a lot. And then I watched I2 tonight and it was like, man, maybe we can do a little touch more. Maybe we can bump it up 25, 50, 100 in some cases. Maybe we do need to do another budget review. Maybe we do need to look at the top 3 insurance providers out there and take some quotes, right? I'm crazy. I do this stuff, guys. I do. I don't like giving my money away for free. We as Americans, we dissolve money for free in certain capacities. In other words, nobody renders their entire paycheck and just puts it 100% to efficiency. What I find interesting is that there's so many people out there that dissolve away at least 100% of their paycheck, and in some capacities, even more. Okay. How is that possible? Well, most of the US is in debt. That's how it's possible. right? We have a piece of plastic that all you have to do is just touch it to the thing, and it buys the shit. It buys the shit. Yes, I need more shit. I need more. I need more shit. Oh, I got it. I got it. This is fantastic. Here, try this. This is here. Blow on this for luck. It's fabulous. Yeah, I need to calm down on that activity. We get to the Q&A, folks. Fantastic, man. I'll cruise to the top and highlight some of these fantastic folks. As a matter of fact, I'm going to roll to the bottom because this is the area that I don't necessarily get to very, very often. I see some good ones here. Nothing wrong for get paid for being good at what you do. Yeah, yes and no. That's a really good question, man. Look, I totally get it. Okay, I freaking do. When I started the Independent Investor channel, I thought, you know what? I will never do that. I will never do it. But the thing about it is, I didn't really fully understand what it entailed and what the ask was. It is lucrative for me. And here's the thing, guys. AdSense has just changed the rules for YouTube revenue, making it even harder for channels like myself to get compensated for my time. I don't really care about that stuff. But here's the thing. The older I get, the more aggressive I am on going after the money. Because here's the thing. I can come on and I can do like live streams. I'll make about $6-8 to do this. It's totally worth my time. I don't do it for the $6 to $8. Okay. And I think everybody would agree. And I can sleep easy knowing that you probably got value out of knowing that 9 o'clock on the dot, man, I'm sitting down and I'm preparing, this stuff for you. I do this for you guys. I don't do it for me. It's all up here. All I'm trying to do is share what it is that I do. And for me to have the opportunity to sit down and rap with CEOs of companies and review companies that, I wish they'd get off the gold niche. That's just where they see the trends. So that's where the bulk of the work is, right? But I told them, I said, I don't turn down work. No way. I'm hungry. I'm just as hungry now as I was back then. I used to catch fish out of the ocean, guys, to make a paycheck. So if you tell me that I get to make content and do a YouTube video and get paid X number of dollars to do said video, I'm cool with that. And if you don't like it, again, you're welcome to leave. But I appreciate that comment. I really do. Give some granularity around why the hell I do what I do, right? I've been doing this a long time. And quite frankly, the bottom line is I've earned the right to do it. All right. Very cool. Very cool. That Ben's in the house. Nice to see you, my brother. My brother from the West Coast. I love it. I was glad to help the channel. Yeah, absolutely. It's got to feel good. And I need to feel like I'm earning that compensation too. So it's a two-way street, brother. It really is. I want to make sure that the stuff that we put out it has the potential to help people. And I do believe that we do. I really do. All right, let's kind of cruise up here. I know Sean's in the group, man. He's one of my Vipers. It's fantastic. It's good to know, Sean. I don't want to ask the question of what in the hell you were doing there on that thumbnail, but that is fabulous. All right. Looks pretty awesome. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Fantastic, man. Great to see you, my friend. Yep. Thanks for your service. Fantastic. Says highly onto the moon. I don't know. It's basing nicely. I'm fine. My position is done. I have not found a need. Some of these YouTube creators are crazy with these Hyliion videos. I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a couple just because they're really fun to do for me because I love the company. I'm very bullish top to bottom on the company. And yes, it indeed will be a success. When it happens, I don't know. I don't really care at this point, but man alive, Hyliion videos every day. I just like, I don't know. I just shake my head and kind of laugh a little bit. They're trying to build their message, and that's all good, all fair in love and war. I'm super stoked to own the company here for sure. And for anybody that does their diligence and takes a look at this opportunity, they're doing some great things, especially on the hybrid side of the house, right? The sleeping bear is the ERX Council, right? And those demos are going to roll out later 2021. This is not a race. It may race to the moon. I don't know. But just happy to have been introduced to this fun company, and I'm a happy share owner in the company. Got a big position, Hyliion. It's the biggest position in my portfolio, no doubt about it. I'm glad. It's just a matter of time, right? VOO is overvalued. Yeah, it is. By any traditional metrics, it is. And I know Kyle's probably sitting there. Shut up, Ryan. You suck. It's I would say that there's two schools of thought here, right? What are you going to do? Are you going to say it's overvalued not to invest? No, I think that's dangerous. Okay. But by any metric, I think stocks have really, through education, through investor interest, through a lot of sideline money. Remember, we're only 11 years removed of the worst financial crisis that we've seen in our lifetime. 2010, 2011 with the mortgage-backed security, it was bad, freak. And it got a lot of people that had seven high six-figure portfolios chopped in half. And it was like, damn, what did I do wrong to deserve this? A bunch of assholes, that couldn't apply proper risk assessment to the debt that they were lending, right? And I don't think those people have forgotten. And I think probably there's a lot of new money that is flowing into the market because they really understand the opportunity, they understand the power, and people are willing to pay up, I believe. I really do. And I think that by saying that the market is overvalued, I say yes by traditional metrics. I don't know what it's trading at right now. I really don't know. I haven't checked for a while now. But the last time I saw it, it was rich. It was rich and you're paying up. But there's things that you can do to scale your approach. If you don't have any skin in the game and you've got 10,000 sitting aside and you're afraid of the market being overvalued, which in my assessment, it is, okay, take 2 grand. See, that's where you can take your scale and say, you know what? What Ryan's saying is making sense, man. Let me buy 10 shares of the S&P 500. It'll cost me $3,800, man. I can live with that. I can own it for the next 20 years. It's good to go. I could care less if it's overvalued right now. If it chops in half, worst case scenario, what is it that I'm supposed to do? Panic? Fix it? Effie, get me the tool. The S&P's going down. I got to fix it. You just invest more. That's all you got to do. Just invest more. Very simple. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. But happy to answer your question. Yeah, I think it's a little rich right here. That's why I'm preparing mentally for a little hiccup in the game. If you think that's the case, certainly do still invest. Dollar cost average your investment. But also consider putting an emergency fund aside if that's what you want to do. I do that. It's a page out of my own personal playbook. And I would encourage everybody to justify doing the same. Now, if the market's down 40, 50%, I will probably be very, very cash lean at that point. But I can justify being a little more cash rich at this point, right? With everything going on in its totality. Interest rates on the rise, real estate at an all-time high. Stock market, hate to break it to you, is also at an all-time high. So pretty important. All right. Says Ryan's the man. I am a man. I am. I'm very, very certain that I am a man as well. I'm very certain. I love my wife. Very cool. Agreed. Got to use your hard-earned dollars wisely. It's interesting you say that, Showcat. I agree. It's those hard-earned dollars that's the hardest, and that's why I earmarked that 10,000 as being so important. Because, I couldn't believe the numbers when I pulled them. $122,595 of free money. That's capital appreciated dollars over the last 5 years. $30,000, that's just a damn bonus. The power of stock market investing. It's gambling. I lost $50 last year. I'll never invest again. You got to get over your own barriers to entry, because I'm telling you, man, if you for some reason took the wrong advice or you had a bad experience with stock market investing, you got to get over that, because I had them too. I've had multiples. The difference between me and a lot of people is I get the hell back up and I dust myself off and I re-engage to continue to whip some ass. I will take nothing short of whipping ass. Okay. And trust me, guys, the stock market can freaking dole it out. It really can. It can give you the business and it will not give you the common courtesy of a reach around. It will not. Sometimes it's bad. Like right now on YouTube, the YouTube community is like, oh, this is amazing. This is so awesome. But mark my word, the market's down 10%. I'm going to have people crawling out from their freaking prepper bunkers and saying, I told you 6 years ago, Ryan, The market's going to hell. Okay, you're finally right. I don't know. You're finally right. It's going to zero. Yep, the market's going to zero. And all the time, I will be buying. And as the stock market goes down, more people find it conducive to kick themselves out from under those rocks that they hide behind all this time and start being like, stock market investing sucks. It's terrible. You're going to lose it all. Mark my word. I've been through it many, many times. And honestly, there is some merit to being an independent investor. It means something. I don't give a shit what you have to say about what I should do with my program. Let that sink in. All right. All right, cool stuff, man. Random dude. Time is money. Yeah. Smart comment. The whole idea there, man, is to take some of those hard-earned dollars and siphon them out. There's no way I could have been able to go from zero to something without having the money work for themselves, right? In other words, generate capital while I'm doing a live stream or doing my regular job, right? Or doing what it is that I do with my time away from the social media experience, right? It's super important. Multiple income streams. If you came to me and said, Ryan, is it a good idea to start a YouTube channel? Yeah, I would tell you the same thing I would tell myself 5 years ago. Yes, but you have to be impassioned about your project, okay? Don't do YouTube. Some people are going to hate me for this. Don't do YouTube to become a millionaire, okay? If it happens, great. Invite me to your millionaire parties. It's all good. But if it doesn't, you're going to be left with an idea that you really wanted to share with people and you didn't do it because your goals were misaligned, right? That's one thing that's always been steadfast on this channel, man. And since I've become a better YouTuber, it's become a lot more fulfilling for me to deliver a message in a way that I know is impactful. Go back and watch my first video. You'll understand what I mean. I had to learn this art, okay? It's a little bit nerve-wracking filming yourself for the first few hundred videos. But we're getting there. In 10, 20 years, I might actually be able to deliver this with some level of entertainment. We'll see. I'm cruising up here. I got Ryan Giffen in the house. Absolutely. I'd like to give a proper shout out here. And I saw some of the gents in the house. I saw Matt Money. Yeah, there he is. My boy. Got to give Matt. I hope all's well, my brother. Yeah. It's a pulse on the network is part of the success of the channel. Absolutely. And Matt and Kyle with the gents and, Ryan and Dave and really everybody, Jay and everybody who's in here, all good. And Bob, to start, and Eric Weber and everybody, man. That was off memory. And yeah, I feel like we're going to grow. And is this just the beginning? Yeah, I feel like it is, man. I do. Be patient. You don't have to live life all at the same time. Okay. Trust a little bit that life is good right now. You don't always have to be fixing shit. It's all right sometimes, man. Let it go sometimes when life throws them curveballs at you. It's all right. I would have liked to have gotten to the questions a little bit more. Matt says, I'm alive. You are alive, man. You got it made, partner. You're one of those independent entities, no doubt about it. I'm proud to know you. You're doing great things, man. And All Good's proud of you too, man. Right? She's proud of you too. We're kind of like your support network, brother. Yeah, don't think for a second we're not rooting for you, because we sure as hell are. Like I've said many times, we don't apologize for success in this outfit, man, for sure. And Becky's in the house. Fantastic. It's great to see you. Fantastic. Just one of those just kind people that I would have never got to know if it wasn't for the independent investor opportunity. You guys kind of will start to understand the method to my madness as we grow this project as slow or as fast as you want to grow it, because the reach in the direction that I'm taking it is incredible. Whether or not I realize my full reach, that's yet to be seen, but that's fine. We're going to keep pursuing it, and I'm going to pursue it with ferocity and trust. It's that simple. I'm not telling you guys stuff that I don't do my own personal self. Matt and Kyle both are in the group here, and if they're welcome to throw a link at the bottom to their live stream, a lot of fun on Fridays, guys. You get a good dose of uh, financial entertainment in some cases, but some really fabulous insight to market news. And all things, Matt and Kyle, they talk about a lot of things that I talk about and some things that I don't. So they're welcome to throw that daisy chain in there. You guys can kick over there and help to support them. Just by nature of you guys making your way in there really helps. And this is a perfect closure comment, guys. Good evening. Shout out to the vets and thank you for your service. With that, guys, we'll close down the live stream. We will be back next Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Remember the multiple conduits on the Independent Investor channel. This is a mainstay on the channel. You guys are all part of it. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. Really appreciate you and have a great weekend. Be safe and thank you to all the vets out there.